We're on the final, Henry. We're on potentially the final map of GG.Bet's Ice Challenge here in London, and that is because North just stole Navi's map, and now we go to Nuke. I kind of lean their way.
I think I do as well. The fact that Nuke has snuck its way through, you don't usually see it in a best-of-3 series, especially in a grand final. It's a bit of a wild card pick to throw in there. And like you said, Danish teams seem to do very well on it.
Absolutely. The question to me is, now that Navi's picking Dust 2, they left Nuke in the pool. If Dust 2's not what they thought it was going to be, if it's not where it is ahead of the major, and they're not banning Nuke, they're going to have problems. That's all I'm going to say.
They're going to have problems, but it's the grand final. Anything can and will happen. Yes, it's easy to say that North should have the upper hand here, but we've seen it plenty of times. We've casted so many games where the opponent's map pick has gone vice versa, and it all falls apart and comes down to that third map. I'm excited to see what Na'Vi can do here. I feel like the individual level they're showing today is enough to get them through this. It's not a foregone conclusion. Yes, I feel like North will be a better team on this, but the way Na'Vi are clutching today, the way they're actually working in terms of individual skill is what I'm really enjoying. But North, with Valda, this is his home map. We haven't seen much from him in this tournament, but trust me, on Nuke, this is where this guy really is a firecracker.
And he looks pretty sharp so far in the final as well. On Dust 2, obviously, multiple entry kills on B. Looked very sharp when he was lurking back through. Had a 4K round, which Electronic equaled and actually shut down, but that was without weapons. That was when he was trying to clutch back in an eco situation. So Valda does look like he's on this game. And again, all these signs point to Nuke leaning toward the Danish team. I really do fear for Na'Vi at this point in time. May have made it to the finals. They may have gone through a lot to get here, more than anyone would have expected. If they get away with the win, it all looks great. If they don't win the final as well, and you look back at the issues they had, yeah, there's definitely questions going into the major. I usually have them in, someone asked me, before this, who's your top 4? Astralis, Na'Vi, Liquid, MIBR. That's my top 4 for the major at this point. I might actually have to reevaluate that if Na'Vi's looking in this form.
How are you feeling with Liquid with Stewie addition? Do you feel like that's
stronger? Hard to say. Obviously, they won the iBuyPower Masters.
Sure.
The Cup in California, whatever the official title of that event was.
It was an asterisk by it.
Absolutely. There was a lot of issues and a lot of delays in that event, which oftentimes stifles people's preparation and motivation. They did beat Astralis in the final, but Astralis after a Christmas break, which they would have absolutely taken advantage of, considering how impressive they were and how much work they put into the last half of last year. Great. They're 1-0, but the jury's still out on if it's a better team or not. There's going to be a lot of tests, especially when you have to play a much longer event at the major as well.
Absolutely. It is a long old stint this time. Now we've upped it to 24 teams. The actual process takes a long old time.
To be fair, though,
grind.
In the case of Liquid and Na'Vi and Astralis, they still join at this round of 16. So for them, it's not much longer, but it is overall, the pressure and everything builds for a lot longer.
Which is great news for Na'Vi, as we know they've got a lot of holes to plug going forward tactically. And just in general team composition, we need to see them really getting back to the form we're expecting from them. This was a good test to see where they're at. First day was a nightmare, losing at best-of-3 to Heroic to open things up. You can see there were fundamental flaws. It's getting better as the tournament progresses, as is usually the story of Na'Vi generally at most events. But going into the major, they can't expect to turn up and just warm up into the tournament. They need to be ready to go from the first map.
Absolutely. And if you want to look at it that way right now, clean slate this final, they've got to win 2-0. They have to just win out this entire series at this point in time and forget the fact that Dust 2's behind them and, slipped away in a pretty catastrophic fashion. You were up 9-6 at half. You didn't win either of the pistols. North get momentum. You bring it back. We thought certainly overtime. And then in the blink of an eye, 2 kills come in and game's done.
That was a bizarre finish. I didn't think they stood a chance. It felt like the AWP and AK just wouldn't be enough with 3 pistols up, but they managed to squeak through and avoid overtime. I think that was huge for North. The fact they managed to avoid that, they've probably been in so many scenarios like that where they feel like they can just about do it, but it goes overtime. You
can see Cadian just laughing about it. He was just like, well, that's done, thank God.
Yeah, indeed. And he actually just, I've been kind of riding Cadian a bit this tournament and kind of saying he hasn't been up to scratch. That was much better from him. He's not going for the craziest picks, but he certainly found his confidence at this point and not just sitting right back. He's actually being part of the aggression.
Yeah. Look, if you're going to take over such a large task and take on such a responsibility as being an op or being an in-game leader, all of the above, you are going to, unfortunately, be subject to scrutiny. So you say you've been riding him hard. Unfortunately, that's the nature of his position. He's going to have to get used to that criticism.
Well, let's see how the 9th round goes down. This is actually one of the few ones I'm excited about. This actually could be telling us which way this game goes. If North win the knife, then get the pistol, they could post double digits and set themselves up a fantastic chance to close out 2-0. If you start T-side, maybe get 5 rounds. The pressure's still on you. You've got to then win the pistol and then kind of match your score of your opponents. I didn't quite catch you on that, actually. Who was it?
I didn't either, Henry. I was listening to your lovely...
rambling on.
You were.
So
I was tuning you out.
Okay, so it looks like a T start for Na'Vi from what I can see right now. We'll find out momentarily. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming right to the end of the tournament now. It's been 3 days of Counter-Strike, 4 teams participating, now just 2. $50,000 on the line with 30K going to the victor. Right now, the underdogs, or the under-lions perhaps, North, will be one map to the good. They've got to get one more, which is their pick here. It's Nuke. You can see their new coach kind of actually giving out direction here and giving them information.
Well, the interesting thing as well, as we talked about this, typically in a best of 3, for those of you who don't know, there's 7 maps in the pool.
Yeah.
Each team bans out one. Each team picks one. And then they remove 2 left over. Whatever's the third one based on the agreement, that's what comes out third. But because there's 2 picked maps, if I pick the map as one team, Team A, and your Team B, you normally get to pick the side.
True.
In this, we knife for the side. On Nuke, that matters a lot because it is a very CT-heavy map. And as a result of that, it's Na'Vi that's against North in many ways. They're already on North's home pick, and they're going to start T-side. So this is about as bad as it gets for Na'Vi. This is going to be as difficult as it possibly can be.
That is a very good point. You've painted quite a bleak picture for them, and we'll see if they can overcome those obstacles as hopefully we get into the game momentarily. Just talk about the sniper potential on this map. We always talk about Simple. He doesn't need the sniper, but he won't be as efficient with it on this particular map. Like we said, it's not the sort of map where the stars can really shine as bright as usual. That's so difficult to find multiple kills. Usually lots of single duels and trying to rotate and use teamwork to take the opposition down. And we'll see how this pistol favors North because they have been exceptional, I would say, in terms of just pistol rounds alone. North have looked very, very good in that department as we get into it. And like you said, they sell on the CT side of no kits and just armor across the board. 2 smokes for Na'Vi suggests something quite tactical here as Flamey investigates the hut.
AZ already waiting at Mini. You have to be careful of the fact that if they go silo, they can get dropped right on top of him. We saw that yesterday on Nuke. We saw how quickly it can change things to split the upper side as well. Flamey's already looked out from hut. He's going to back off, look over toward radio room and ramp instead. 1 player lingering behind. That's Simple. He doesn't have utility. He's actually just trying to lurk. He's trying to aid them in finding kills, catch rotation, likely try and get toward the vent late once they get downstairs. And the fact that there's 2 back toward that ladder position means longer rotations. This is definitely all on Cadian. He's already spotted him with both entrances covered off. No way he was getting out of that. There's just not enough coverage behind that silo, and here we go. Exactly what was mentioned. Simple's waiting at the door, catches one to the ladders, excuse me. Knows now they have to rotate towards Secret. He rotates down to join his team. Bomb is already planted.
Yeah, so far so good for Na'Vi. This is looking incredibly tough now. Remember, no kits going into this retake. It's one of the most difficult sites to actually take back from the terrorists once the bomb down, especially if you have disadvantages like this. It's a guarantee at this point. Valda, all he can really hope for is a couple more kills and maybe try and stay alive here, but I don't think Simple will be allowing that to happen as he peeks out. Surely goes down at this point. It will be Simple to finish things off. And as you pointed out, he waits by the vent. He has a smoke down there at the start to suggest they've already got players jumping down there, but they didn't. They went back and focused towards the ramp. He held the squeaky door position, and as they get that successful pick towards the ramp room, they really challenge the lower area. And that's why they have the 2 smokes there. They have one for that vent at the start, just to cause a little bit of a ruckus there, questions being asked on the CT side, and then they can smoke off one of the doors down towards lower, get a safe plant down there, and actually a kill as well, as Cadian got nothing done from behind the silo. They have force board just to know on the CT side of UMPs.
Nades out. They'll detonate them in front of the doorway. That actually blows it off the hinges and creates a complete line of sight through to the main entrance. Skate stands above on top of the hut. He's got support beside him as well. So this is an aggressive force buy from the CTs. Haven't seen one of these actually all tournament. We've seen pretty passive approaches in terms of economy for the CT side. AZ does spot Simple. Damage done both ways. He'll have to back off. Can't really afford to be caught out there. And surprisingly, Electronic, even with that information, could not get the kill with the MP5 and didn't want to stick around too long because of exactly this. Valda's positioning towards Secret. Easily counters off anyone outside. They've got to put Petch in that direction. Once he's dealt with, once he's been pushed back down the stairs, he's not been killed, but pushed off the position, they can focus upward. That's exactly what they do.
Looking very promising here, Cadian on the force buy with those UMPs. Can't get it done. It's a very difficult map to make a force buy work, especially on that CT side. You're very reliant on utility and some distance as well. If the T's decide to go outside with their AKs, they're always going to have that advantage, as now Na'Vi go 2-0 up, presumably 3 as well, because that force buy's come through. CTs can't really purchase anything in round number 3. They can really go for a stack and ramp or push lobby, something like that. They've got some PD50s. Valda got a Deagle. Remember, we did say to look out for him. His performances on Nuke speak for themselves. Absolutely tremendous at times as Edward looks towards the main entrance, trying to find that first pick. Not going to spot anything just yet, but there it is. He's going to get the first kill. Battle will follow things up and actually bring it to a 4-4. But can they recover that rifle? Oh my goodness.
It's got vision. Does spot out one further. Cadian getting simple with the pistol is actually remarkable because that's the top fragger down and they'll get a weapon for it. He's all that's lost. Edwards made it through the door, but stuck behind the vent. Smoke off on main. He'll start to probe the inner sight. Can't really do much about finding the rotations and figuring out exactly how North choose to play this. They want to drop. They want to go lower. We talked about this already, Henry. It's such a tough position to retake, but equally as tough to take when they've already got positioning, and Valda shows us exactly why. Getting one with a pistol, Kiabi rotates in early, and Gade's got the catwalk. Bombs down. This is a minute to play with. They don't have a lot of residual cash, but Flamey can justify going for this. He's got a huge task. Great crossfire set. Nowhere to go.
Well, there it is. It seemed like that was the round. There was no chance in. As we described, it's the full eco, essentially. And if you give those kind of rounds up, that's when Na'Vi start to bicker. It should be safe, right? They've got the AKs, they've got manpower towards outside. All of a sudden, it starts to crumble, and it will be North posting their first with the pistols. You can see those orcs coming out. Of course they are. Is the AWP in play, though? We'll have a look. Indeed it is. Cadian will be rocking that, and you can see as the pendulum swings, now it's Na'Vi in the difficult position. They've got the 3 AKs, a lack of utility, and 2 players on the Deagles. So drop a smoke initially just to get some control towards outside, and Kiabi and his twitchy aim will be looking towards the silo. Gage tagged up, but he does similar damage towards Zeus. Actually takes him down towards 7. So that's where the bombers as well. Good grenade will actually do nothing at all, apparently. Must whiz by his head. And Simple waiting by the red box for his teammates to gather information.
Kiabi's forced to go passively outside as well. He does have support. Thank you. Perfect timing on the Observer to catch out Cadian, who is watching from heaven. That's the rotations that we talked about. That's the transition period that I mentioned Cajun B and his tenure in North. Such an important position because you can get just about anywhere on the map so quickly from there, but you've got to be proactive. Once they've taken the positions like Secret, once they've taken the ramp, you're actually further away from the rotations in that spot. It is going to be Kiabi going down. It's a 4-on-4. 2 AKs still on that CT side, extremely powerful, and Edward left to the pistol. Zeus has to be careful, holding that bomb with 7 HP. If he gets caught, they're trying to split upper with him. He's pretty much left out of it. They can't do much to respond. Electronic gets Valda at the very least, and he'll try and work behind. This is a full flank and will divide the defense.
Still anyone's round here. Maybe not anymore. AZ is dropped. It's up to Gade now to find multiple kills. Not going to happen. Cadian with the AWP on the bomb side floor. Surely they'll just avoid him at all costs here. Simple, ready to take the battle though. He'll hit the headshot. And even after losing the first frag there towards Squeaky Door, it's Electronic to find 2 kills outside and then Simple to seal the deal as they knew exactly where Cadian was. So a back and forth game here. Remember, 1 map already in favor of North. That was the pick of Na'Vi. We expected North to look very comfortable here on Nuke, but on the T side, after getting that successful pistol round here, at least they've built a foundation to work upon here, because Na'Vi, as you can see from the odds at the bottom, are actually the favorites right now and have forced North into an uncomfortable situation. The auto shotgun is out, CZ for the AWP up, and it's going to be a couple of orgs in that UMP. So will the shotgun be able to find an initial kill here? It's normally inside or on top of the hut.
We're trying to get a little bit sneaky behind the smokes outer. Remember watching Heroic and S-Tag play up close? He seemed to make that work every time.
True.
We're just trying to make sure there is no one there in the reverse position as he attacks and gets a bit of map control. Haven't actually seen outside used too much. Saw it last round, obviously. Electronic working around behind and got to heaven, but it's not like they've been relying on that as of yet on the Na'Vi side. Oscar shotgun. Hiko shotgun.
It's the Hiko made it first, yeah. He was the one that really got its name out there on Nuke. It's a great little weapon. You can farm some cash. That particular angle especially. As the smoke is deployed, it will be Electronic to find Kiabi. It looks like another clean round here for Na'Vi. You can see 3 remain and last few chances here for the CTs. Can they do anything to stop the assault towards the bomb site? They have ramp room control, Na'Vi, and they're looking to head towards lower, and that's a beautiful shot from Edward. He'll take down Valda, and now the shotgun and all combo does not look that promising whatsoever. One thing I will say is, though the bombs are planted yet, time ticking away, it would take a massive mistake, but that's the only way that North can possibly win this round.
Cadian could be that mistake for them. His positioning is not bad at all, and Bomb, oh, they shut the door. He opens it, catches them, nearly got a lineup on it. In fact, Flamey got the kill on Zeus, firing through his teammate back toward Cadian, but that's fine because it gets rid of the threat and will allow the bomb plant. 9 seconds, Gade's up above. I think he's just going to bail with the AK at this point in time. Round pretty much done. Has no kits. 5 HP, utility sure, but yeah, gone. Back toward T-spawn, he'll just hide out there and let the time expire, let that bomb detonate. And at the very least, carry an AK over because there's no residual. Look at the money. 3 digits everywhere except Gade. He's got 1,200 and a gun, so fair enough to him, but no one else is going to be able to really join him in that next round.
And the only reason he has that 1,200 is from the shotgun kill. That gives him 900 bucks, right? So he'll have a little bit of extra cash there, but Na'Vi starting to get comfortable now as Nuke becomes a bit of a problem for North, and this can happen sometimes. Sure, you start CT start, if you lose that pistol, you get reset once after you get around on the board, it can crumble very quickly indeed, as Gade will be hiding all the way behind the truck there. I don't think he'll be found. It looks like he'll be bringing that AK into the next. Fist bump's coming through, as Flamey has looked pretty sharp today. You can see the boys discussing now their options as they have quite the lead now. Money is broken for the North side, that they save an AK. So what can they do with it? I guess ideally take that to ramp and maybe stack outside with nades would be an option. The nades trying to funnel them back towards the lobby. Have they got nades? Just the one. So that's not going to be an option for them. They'll go for quite the opposite with Gade heading towards outside and trying to find the one tap. So a nice little set piece here from Na'Vi. Double nades towards main entrance. And they'll just hold up. They know the money's low here. They don't have to do anything too crazy here. They'll just hold up and wait for mistakes to be made. And that's the one rifle removed.
It's a bit of an odd way to try and play it, to be fair. You put it in a close distance position and a one and done at the best case scenario, so it's gone already. You are absolutely right. Great start from Na'Vi. T-side, we talked about this, not their map choice. 4-1, potentially 5. Couldn't ask for much more. Cadian is going hunting. He wants that gun back. I don't know that it was removed or not. Electronic might have been clever and just disposed of it, threw it off the map. We didn't catch it. Doesn't look like it's out there because Cadian would have it by now. So Electronics sliding all the way back up, making sure that anyone on the flank will be caught out. Bomb already down, and it's round pretty much over at this point.
Just looking for some exit kills here. Ambitious at best. USP, no armor. No reason for Na'Vi to go hunting. They can stick together in a wolf pack here as they get 5 rounds on the board. And just to reiterate, the T side on Nuke is very difficult to post any amount of rounds on, really. 5 is actually an acceptable half. So anything at this stage is actually a bit of a bonus, right? They're actually aiming to win this one as North start to stabilize. Can they afford the AWP? They can, but it would be like last kind of the best. AZ can afford it exactly. Gade with the drop one, I believe, but there it is. Na'Vi looking up and about, smiling as well. Good to see. Still confident, still enjoying themselves. And North probably quite the opposite at this stage as AZ will purchase up that M4. Will the AWP be purchased? Like we said, it'd be a bit of a risk to bring it out. Can be completely thwarted with smokes outside. And they've gone for the rifles instead. I think that's probably the best call here.
Need to take the door out. Molotov therefore easily thrown through. That forces Kiarbi to wait. He can't peek aggressively inside of the site. Has to just sit back and allow that to extinguish itself. Thankfully, AZ does get position on the hut in the meantime, so it's not like they can cleanly rush it on that alone. It's a bit of give and take. Tug of war for position, if you will. Cadian, look how passive this is.
It's a great little spot, though. Device plays there sometimes. You struggle to spot the heads there, actually. You can get a couple of cheeky kills. Maybe more beneficial than the silence M4, perhaps, but still good for one if you can sneak away after pulling the knife out. Damage done to the terrorists. We still have a minute on the clock, though. It's been quite a passive game from Na'Vi. Haven't really changed the pace up too much. But Edward, he successfully got himself down towards Secret. That's the Molotov that goes on top of the hut. We'll see if anyone's there to receive it. They're not, as Gade now has to try and dodge the flashbangs. And will they attempt to enter the upper bomb site? I'm not sure they will. They might just be trying to show presence towards upper and then head in towards ramp.
Already, certainly hugging the wall. That needed to be traded. Hugging the wall, they would never have expected to clear that. You said this was home territory. He's just got 3 and bomb down. Finally, North footing in the round. I would say that's pretty much done at this point. Edward trying to pull back. No one getting back into him, and smoke off, they just assumed he wasn't there.
You have a smoke protecting you from the CT entrance ramp, right? Your first player's gone down. I couldn't even tell you why you wouldn't just instantly face and challenge him once again. Why you put the brakes on and don't move literally makes no sense at all, because you're giving him a chance to reset his aim and actually be ready for you. He knows multiple players are there. You've got to stay on the back of the front teammate. As soon as he goes down, bang, you're trading it out. So he doesn't get the chance to reset and control the spray, and that's exactly how they just fed him. Yes, Valde is one of the greatest ramp players in the game right now, but that was a little bit too easy. You can definitely counter it. He might have got 2, sure, but he wouldn't have got the 3rd if you all challenge at the same time and make sure you're actually assertive there. There was, what, 40 seconds? Oh, okay.
We had the replay.
That's happened a lot. I'm just about to break down what's and explain and reiterate my thoughts, but I think I did that with my words. You can get it. You got it. What I meant.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not common that someone wants to hug that wall either, because we talk about the efficiency of ramp. Normally you want to rotate off, stay alive. But people should know by now that Valde is going to take those fights.
Not to take anything away from him, just to reiterate as well. Great work by him, but shouldn't have been as gifted as it was. But either way, it is going to be a successful round for North, as Kiabi with the Orc spotting outside. Not sure if he spotted it, but looks like he did, as he drops the HE. Should do a little bit of damage there, a little being the operative word, as Valde waits for the smoke to go down, and will chuck the smoke on top of it just to buy himself some time and dissuade Edward from going any further, as he has to hold the steps now.
No AWP available outside. North hasn't really had one in this game. Typically, you'd want one in this position, but the AUG will do. KRB finds electronic. I like how they've gotten the secret, but they're just going to hold it. They don't actually want to rotate down below. They'll keep the CTs guessing and leave themselves options outside. By doing so, by waiting, as we saw those two players doing at the top of the stairwell, they allow the other two, Flamey, first and foremost, to try and find picks elsewhere. Flashed in by a teammate. Valde's already rotated this time, but that might bait in Cadian. It would if they went that way. Decent bait and switch potential on the site itself as well, with AZ to take the aggression. And then they'll walk directly toward Gate. Cadian's done it all on his own. He's realized they backed off. He knew there was a flash there, and then no one showed up, so he took the gamble. He went for it.
Yeah, real nice gamble as well. Great shots out of the M4. You do not need the AWP, especially with the AUG being so relevant now. That extra scope just allows you to peek solo like we seen Kiabi do. You don't necessarily need the AWP now. You can actually just use that weapon as the time ticks away. That's a guaranteed round for North, but they're not quite happy with that. Looks like they're on the hunt here, waiting for the time to expire. Oh, Edward. Oh, my goodness, he died there. Would have been quite the awkward moment, as Edward, he might go after the time, as Simple already has.
Simple did go after the time, so no money for the loss, and he loses the AK-47 in the process. That's going to be very costly for Na'Vi. And those mistakes start to add up. Sure, they've got a great start. They've got 5 rounds, which is absolutely manageable on Nuke. But it isn't their map choice, so everything matters, and little mistakes like that down the line, you keep using the phrase knock-on effect for these kills, could play a massive factor when we get to round 27, 28, 29, somewhere in that range.
Yes. Absolutely so. Na'Vi suddenly slowing down at this point. North starting to stabilize, which is very common. You will see these massive early score lines, especially if the economy gets reset a couple of times. You've lost a pistol, but as soon as they get established and just get a couple of rounds that are convincing in their favor, you should see things tighten up. On the CT side of Nuke especially, this is North's pick. They picked it for a reason. They're comfortable on it. They've got some great specialists, like we pointed out, with Vada towards the ramp. He's up there with Zipex in terms of how well he can anchor that position. As the odds come through from GG.Bet, our esports bookmaker, you can see North are against Na'Vi at a 1.58 disadvantage. So Na'Vi the clear favorites right now, but it's still very early on in this particular map. 5-3, still anyone's game as we come in with not necessarily a force buy here, quite a lot invested. Remember, Simple got no cash from the previous round, so he buys a Deagle. That's about it. Zeus with the invested AK and also with Edward. So you've got your 3 best fraggers on the pistols and your 2 support players essentially on those rifles. So interesting call. We'll see if it yields any sort of success.
Gade's waiting hot. No more window on his left side, so he'll hear them walking in behind, but not be able to do anything about it. The fact that Electronic got the opening kill on the pistols, massive as well, but look at Gade. He even the one to go for the flank. Teammate included as Valde pushed in from ramp. They knew they were all in lobby. Cadian's got the first, but so many smokes down, they can't elect to go through this. Door shut, Simple needs to be aware of the fact that if that opens, it's a sound cue, but he's not ready to react in time. Gate gets in there fast with the AK-47. Headshot lands, and they'll go aggressive. Bomb not planted. 54 seconds. They need to find anything to work with at this point. They've given up all the map control they had, and the bomb now included as well. So I think they've recovered just enough on the north side with 45 seconds to go in the round.
AZ might go down here, and indeed he will, but Cadian, luckily there, Matt, he will be ready to get the trade instantly. You can see the coach enjoying that one. A tough round, but they know they've got a chance to breathe at this point. That was the full investment there with no plant as well. You know Na'Vi are going to be eco this round at the very most. P250s, maybe a set of Kevlar here or there. And Electronic looks a little bit fired up. You can see him having some stern words of his teammates there towards the end. As the odds start to narrow now. The auto shotgun being brought out by Gate. Kiabi presumably patrolling the silo once again with the AUG, but Cadian's AWP is back out as well. The incendiary to block the upper rush. Damage being exchanged as the shotgun pushes through, and so will the AKs here. Cadian in a lot of trouble as well. He's low HP. Surely he won't be getting a kill here. Just needs to try and survive at this stage.
Shots towards CT with the AK already resetting at that point. Valda gets the advantage of the M4.
Lovely flash.
Yeah, got Careby back in position upper because he was forced off it. Didn't want to dry peek that, go alone and get caught out. Zeus, slow reactions.
Yeah. It's simple, can pounce on the site. Bomb down. Not all is lost.
Valda just trying to spot where that is now. He's already revealed that Simple's up close. He should know that's the front right plant. Which means, although it sounds odd, Cadian should have expected that someone's going to be in those tunnels because they have to hold toward control, toward the doors to make sure they can see that in the post plant. They've lost that position, but Simple's still on catwalk.
What a play.
12 HP. He's going to slide above them, spot it out. Great read from Kiarby. If he gets behind them in that situation, done.
One more second. He gets in that corner. They assume he's a ramp. It's over. He would have won that, I think. But low HP and timing not working out for him quite there, and it will be a scrappy one, but still a win is a win, and it will be 5-5. North tying things up. If they pull this right back to 10-5, they'll be feeling very happy themselves. They know you can lose pistols. You're playing against world-class opposition here. Not every round's going to go in your favor, regardless of how good your strat is. Sometimes they just hit amazing shots, and you have to accept that the resets will come through. All you can do is play your game and try and recover. And we see what will be brought out for the next round. The bomb was planted there, but Na'Vi still on the CZs here, and a Deagle, but don't discount them on that fact alone. They have got some of the most deadly Deagle players in the world, and we mentioned Electronic CZ potential as well. Watch out for that.
Quick check, same angle we saw last time from Kiabi as he looked up on the AUG. Smokes down, just guesses to fire through and does do substantial damage onto Edward. Tags Simple as well, but this will be a 5-man rush to Secret, and they're ready. AZ and Valda both already on the stairs with M4s. In fact, not only that, Gade is inside of the vent, so if they wanted to try and use speed as their friend, it may not go much further. It may be halted quite quickly with the crossfire setup that's now established at the stairs. We talked about this many times. 2 headshot angles, 90 degrees apart. Pretty hard to find those shots collectively when you're working in it. Yeah, just a shooting gallery at that point in time. Pretty straightforward slaughter, actually.
Well, there we have it. It will be 6-5. North, it's taken them a while, but they've managed to get the lead at this point. It was to be expected, to be fair, on the CT side on their map pick, but such a slow start. You have to commend them on their resilience and making sure they didn't make any crazy mistakes. Their buys have been calculated. They haven't made any huge blunders, and rounds they should be winning, they have been. There hasn't been any 1v3s against them or anything like that. So the Orb's got a good spawn. He could go towards ramp at this point if he really wants to, just to mix things up, or the main entrance and face towards the squeaky door. We'll see which way Cadian's inclined, but let's keep things standard and face towards outer. Electronic gets himself boosted on the silo as Cadian. Oh, he did try to make a bit of a play there. This is an unusual position for the Orb. You can see what he's trying to do there, but Flamey one step ahead, gets the opening kill, and it's cool. The Orb has been removed from the equation.
Flamey waiting, looking toward the back garage, or at least his crosshair placement would suggest. Once that smoke went down, he considers checking side of the HUD. Spots AZ, no damage done either way, but as we catch in the top right corner, off camera, a kill comes through to make it a 4-on-4. Electronic going down. Kirby's been pretty solid outside this game. He's been quiet this event as well.
Absolutely. Used to be considered one of the shining stars of Denmark. Now, just a decent rifler at this point, which isn't a bad thing, but he's not the one we talk about the most. It's Valda, as I mentioned before. There he is, though. Lovely work. This AUG outside really is paying dividends. I'm enjoying it. As we get to the 50-second mark, we'll see Simple with the Krieg, not as effective as the AUG, or at least not as popular. As we'll see now, 45 seconds remain as they head towards lower. That's where the bomb is. Simple's got it, but Edward has the vents, to be fair. This isn't actually looking too bad, even though it's a 4 versus 3.
Gade just holding off on the right side of the door. Again, same setup. Hasn't really been needed yet or come to fruition, so it's not like it's been revealed. But if AZ's going to bait, he's got to be careful and be there at the right time, because Flamey nearly just spotted that on his own. Turns out he did not. Thought he went far enough. It's a common mistake. You think you checked just enough. That last little pixel, that's exactly where they're hiding. And Valda takes down Simple. Bomb dropped all onto Edward. They'll extend the lead 7-5 as time will expire on the round. And Edward, he needs to be very careful to keep this AK. They are close. They are all over him.
Did he get any money? No, he didn't.
Oh, that did come after the time. You're right.
That couldn't have gone any worse for him. Just to be clear, for the people watching outside the octagon, if you die after the timer, and the bomb, of course, hasn't been planted, you are not rewarded with any cash. You get nothing. So that's why sometimes they'll wait before they pounce on the remaining player for that time to expire, then kill him to make sure he cannot buy any weaponry in the subsequent round. So this has to be the eco or the force buy. They might be so broken they'll say, let's just go for the Deagles here. And it'll be a tactical pause to discuss and deliberate over the options here. They were high-flying at the start, and it's so fascinating that the psychology of CS, how 5 minutes ago everyone's laughing and enjoying themselves, flash forward, and now it's just like, oh, for God's sake, what's happened here? It's just like such a roller coaster of emotion, adrenaline, and thought processes that have to go on in CS. I don't think people realize it's not just a video game here. The amount of levels of strategy and mind games that go on, and discipline is just on another level. It really is very difficult being at the top of your game in CSGO.
Valda all the way at the top. Electronic and Edward. Edward actually sitting on 10 at this point in time. Simple with 9, and it's 2 still for Zeus. He's been so slow lately to get started in games.
This tournament, yeah, it's been really rough for him.
I'd like to congratulate Flamey, the newest knife addition in the game. He finally got a kill with it, remember? That's a stat track. It says 1 on the blade now.
Yeah. Nice knife as well. Looks like a pocket knife. Anyway, Cadian. There's the shot required to open things up, and a ramp player, a good one at least. The PFA buys himself a bit more time. Once you get that first pick, you can almost give it up. You don't want to challenge it too much, especially you've got the AWP. But the incendiary and the fact he's got back in position to actually push them off. So he's in a great spot at this point. Doesn't have to give it up at all. Ooh, the scout, I thought that one connected there. Looking for headshots. Simple. Trying to lead the charge here. They did not force buy here. Remember, Edward left him no cash at all. Good flashbang. That's the teamwork coming through. You see the timing on that? Valda's calling for it. He's ready to peek. They flash. Guarantees himself a frag. AZ with 3 as well. And this is why they picked it. You can see the synergy. This is a map they've been working hard on, and they're proud of it as well. You can see everything working out nicely. The timings are there. The setups are working. They're changing things up. And it just looks impressive. It looks like this is what we expect from North, but you don't see this sort of chemistry on all of their maps. And that's, like we said, to be expected. They are rebuilding right now and in a bit of a difficult spot, but Nuke seems spot on, at least on the CT side.
Cadian this time over toward the ramp with the Jisk seemingly more than comfortable outside on the AUG. Doesn't have it this time. He's got the AK carried over, but they'll stack it up. More rifles, more aggression, maybe less range perhaps. Not to say the AK isn't potential and potent from range. It just doesn't have that scout, or excuse me, that scope to work with. Only good for 1. Despite that stack, Valda's going to change it. Falls off of it and finds Electronic. Good read to Zeus going around the outside, but not quite enough time to reset the aim. Zeus does trade it back. That'll give him a 3rd kill in the game, but Gade, he wants to address this. Make sure there's no flank, no further information attained by Na'Vi, and he'll make sure that they're forced to go out toward that bomb. That's information that Cadian can work off of. If he knows they're in the yard, he's got the AWP. All he has to do is consider watching from heaven, and if he doesn't see them, it's going to be very obvious they've wrapped back through mini.
Oh, goodness. That was
barely
all
got away with that. Great position.
It was perfectly played, and he gets the kills. It doesn't matter, but Cadian with a chance here. He can hear them coming as well. Surely he has the idea that Zeus is making his way back around. He came around very, very loudly indeed. That kill's coming in for Cadian, and now it won't be. That was a bit of a problem. He had a chance to win that one, but it will be Na'Vi to pick it up. A scrappy kill outside from Zeus, but it's enough. That's all he had to do. As we'll see now, the odds favoring North. How quickly
they can change.
They change indeed.
Yep, the fickle nature. But just to point out as well, I mean, things were going so well when guns were up for North. That was the first time they made a change in setup. They changed the default, they put the op toward the ramp, and they went aggressive outside. It just didn't work for them. Sometimes I can understand the mentality to change when you're in the lead because you want to continue to keep them guessing, but sometimes you also, when it's working so well in the default, don't need to.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you're just like, well, you're predicting they're going to adapt to what you're doing right now, and you're trying to preempt that adaptation, you know? So that's what we are trying to work out as in-game leaders, especially as now. Great shot. This is where Na'Vi do their best work. Let's just choose an objective, get stuck in, find those headshots, and now it's an absolute brawl on the upper bomb side. Cadian, multiple targets towards the main entrance, but there's Valda from the secret steps, and he'll get 3 kills. They had no idea he was lurking behind, didn't even account for it.
Even Cadian knew. He just held position. He was like, if they come forward, I've got them, and I know you're there, so that's brilliant. Good positioning. Valda, again, showing dynamic play. He started in ramp in that game. He's been everywhere. He rotated under that time to go for the fast flank, knowing that outside was starting to become a threat from Na'Vi. It wasn't at the start of the game. Kiarbi was handling it with ease, but they get away with the half. Just barely. Na'Vi's given themselves more than a fighting chance now that they swap over, considering, again, T-side is heavily disadvantaged. Did win the pistol. Keep that in mind. Last map, they did not win either of them on Dust 2. This time, they've got one already under their belt.
That's absolutely true. Wow. It's the T side of North I'm interested to see. Their map pick, what have they got up their sleeve here? Na'Vi, not known to be the strongest of Nuke squads. Don't seem to play that often. As it will be North for the lead, but the slow start. But I feel like you can all agree that was certainly them looking like the better squad when the gun rounds really came in, when they stabilized and got the economy in their favor. They had a firm read on what Na'Vi were presenting. Actually were shutting them down and having very convincing rounds towards the end. So you do get 2 minutes at the end of each half to allow your coach to come in and discuss options for the pistol and the ongoing setups as the game develops. There's Simple, one of the biggest names in CSGO right now. North, star-studded roster as well. A major winner on the squad in the form of Kiarbi.
MVP at that major as well in Atlanta.
That's right.
That was the final boss for Astralis for a long time. They won everything except for the major, and then he came along, and it looked like he was going to be the savior for the team. You mentioned it. He was the shining star of Denmark for a while, and then when he left Astralis, things weren't necessarily going well. I think that was part of the reason he made the decision to join North. They grabbed Magisk, and it's been an incredible run from them ever since. That was this day last year, as a matter of fact.
True.
1 year ago today that roster change took place.
Okay, Kiarbi, he isn't messing around. They're going to go straight towards outside. They've got no utility, but Flamey now has to defend. He gets himself in towards Shadow or lower. And this is a strong position, but not good for multiple frags. We'll see if they actually fall back here. I like this. They've caused so much rotation down towards lower. Now they're going to go back towards the upper side, and it's Zeus who's waiting for them. We've seen he doesn't look like he's in top form right now, but Edward, infamous with the USP back in the day. We'll see if he can continue to find headshots here. It's up to Zeus, though. They need to try and slow them down. He's taking the gush, and he'll have to fall back as the bomb's planted. And North in a great spot, but here he comes, Simple, with the one-bullet execution up to AZ and just Kiarbi in a 3 versus 2.
Bombs continues to tick. There is a kit for Zeus, but he's tagged to 9. He doesn't have that armor to work with, so took more damage. Substantially so. And he's going to be lined up. Manages Flamey to trade off of it. Zeus is down. The kit would have fallen, I think, inside of the site. AZ's got the kill. That means Flamey might have a chance to get to it, and he does. He's gone back. He's recognized that now. He's going to get on this defuse. It's open side plant, though, which means AZ gets the peek, gets the advantage, and absolutely nails the shot. So North pick up their T-side pistol as well and get the advantage early on. Double digits already.
Calm as you like as well. AZ, that's one thing I've noticed this tournament especially. He doesn't seem like he's panicking anymore. He seems confident in his own ability, and we're seeing that great aim come back, the great understanding of the clutch situations. That's something that always stood out for me when he was at his absolute peak. Even though that was a long time ago, that was always something that was stunning. His understanding of the clutch situations and how he can win out those rounds. He took a gamble there. The defuse attempt was made. He touches the bomb. A lot of players would be tempted just to swing out. They didn't want to risk getting the full defuse on them, especially when the bomb's so far gone. But he held his nerve, and Flamey then has got all the pressure on him, and at that point AZ just needs to hit a simple shot, which he did, and he actually wins a massive pistol round here. If you are just joining us, $50,000 on the line in this octagon right now. This could be the final map. It's North currently a map up and now in the lead in the second half of Nuke. First place prize of $30,000, and this would be a huge upset. Na'Vi essentially here to warm up for the major and show the world that they're ready in fighting form, and North didn't even qualify for that event. Maybe about to knock them out of the tournament.
Yeah, in the current climate, this is an upset of great proportions. In the past, I would say that North was in the realms of top 10. It's just been such a catastrophic turn of events for them, changing of the roster, changing of the guard, trying to change and get back to the front with leadership and coaching and everything in between. If this works against Na'Vi, that certainly is encouraging, but you're right. This is their game to lose, and certainly so far they have been. North on 10 rounds, already with the opening pick on to Flamey. They went aggressive on the purchase, just as North tried to do in the first half. Remember that, they pulled out 3 UMPs in the second round. GG.Bet sneaks through. I think Simple's aware of it, hoping perhaps he was going to go a little bit further, but he's let him get up the ladder. Can still cover that off from CT spawn. The problem is that he's gone around the corner, and now the upper side is wide open. It's pretty much done.
Simple with the Deagle, Scouts, and helmet. He's been given everything. How it works still on the ladder, for those unaware, you shouldn't really have much accuracy at all, but low HP GG.Bet catches a stray bullet.
Yeah, you could see the first bullet actually went far left. He just gambled that the RNG was going to work in his favor. The random number generator that pretty much everything on the internet uses these days, all games having some capacity. Went his favor, went his way. Kate and Cadian, though, they're going to hold it together. Edward with only 1 kill, and despite the force buy, they're going to lose all the weapons, all the armor. And North now find number 11. 5 to go. If they hit 16, it's done. And look at Valdo, little confident fist pump. He knows how close they're getting.
But they're not too confident. They're not screaming, not getting out of control. They know this will be great for morale, confidence, and kind of be able to maybe handle the defeat that happened at the minor. If they can win a nice little tournament like this against world-class opposition, maybe they'll feel like they're in the right direction at this point. Have we got any sort of buy here? Simple again. CZ armor. I commented on the Dust 2 before and said it doesn't really seem worth him investing so much more than his teammates, but we saw what happened after that. And the CZ armor still worth $1,300. We'll see what can be done. Zeus with the CZ as well. Flamey Desert Eagle.
Good overview of the positioning, the setup. Worked out for Zeus, not so much for Simple, but they swing back on the boxes, and the fact they had such a heavy presence upstairs actually does overwhelm North to an extent, to the point where, in fact, they're at a disadvantage here, 2-on-2, but Gabe's left on 36 HP. Armor and an AK for Zeus to work with. You should leave him with the AK in this situation, despite that it is electronic with him, simply because he can take those battles. Lack of helmet certainly does lend itself to the SMGs doing more damage, and Gade will show off headshot potential against electronic. Zeus forced out, flames down, Volda ready for it. Well played. Good teamwork together to flush him out, and not only that, secure that the bomb was safe if he didn't appear.
High pressure situation that has more on the line than you might think. It might just be one round and slips away, but the amount it would affect these boys mentally, losing the pistols and then allowing Na'Vi back into the game, it would have been devastating. So it's nice for them to pick it up. Sure, it was close, but all they cared about is getting the W in that round, and Na'Vi have to grind so hard here on the T side. It's 12-6, looking for the 2-0 now. We go in for another gun round. It's going to be Cadian looking to open the door potentially and look towards that main entrance. Opposition there. Edward might have to bail out and go towards main. Doesn't do it. Actually gets smoked off. Cadian falls back. They start to head towards the ramp from now. Valda looking to flash them in. I like the look of this. He'll get himself lined up, and Flamey might eat the flash at this point. Dodges it. Can he get the first kill? Certainly can. Wants to fall back now. Has he got any utility to fend them off? He actually doesn't, but he has got time on his side and repositions.
He does. Falls back down on the bottom of the ramp. Stays alive. That's the biggest aspect of this. 12-6. Certainly still within the grasp of Na'Vi at this point in time. It's 4 rounds to go, and T-side 4 rounds can be a very, very tough ask. So if they start to control these gun rounds, do not rule them out as Zeus slides back into the safe side of the site. He'll allow the door to be watched by Edward, but Zeus is found. Cadian had an op on the door, and Volda's shoulder baited out. He thinks that they're going to be near the boxes, but his teammates should have been ready. Should have been ready for the exchange. They're not. Edward slides in and gets both. He absolutely should have been traded, and it's Na'Vi that get away with the round.
They just weren't expecting him to be so close range as well. Edward even had opportunities to miss a few shots. You're being so close range, they're bumping into each other. It's getting very clumsy and uncomfortable. It was the right idea. They had the 4-on-4. If they just traded him out in a clean fashion, it was over, but Edward steps up there just when Na'Vi needed it. A nice clean round on the CT side. They do have a lot of work to do here. I'm not sure we'll be breaking down North just yet. They don't fully commit, but a couple of them do. You can see Valda and Cadian still residual cash. They have one AK. CZ's out, and they're going for the straight-up rush here. Going to try and get down the vents potentially. AZ's made it. That's one of his calling cards. He always tries to get down these vents, even in gun rounds. And it looks like he is relatively undetected right now. It's going to force a rotation regardless of being shot out. He gets all the way back towards the window room as well. Edward now trying to challenge him with the AK, going for the full spread. That means he has to go reload, and there's time now for them to reposition. Simple, does he hit the shot? Timing is absolutely spot on.
And who does he get? Valda.
Yep.
That's about the perfect target at that point in time. Sure, the AK is still in the hands of Gade, but you take down the biggest threat on the other side in terms of skill. AZ's got one back.
And 2 AKs now. They started with 1.
Flamey as well, though. He's got decent position, but he's got to be so careful. Simple needs to... Ooh, okay. Didn't want to do it. I was going to say spot control. He certainly will go back. Finds AZ. Misses a shot on Gade, however. And the AK finds a kill. It's still a 3-on-3.
We can be spotted. KRB's dropped the ball there a little bit. Could have planted safely. It might cost them the round now. 50 seconds remain. It was just an inch too far to the right, and he can be spotted from shadow, and that's where it all falls apart. They could have got the plant at least out of that. Cadian's got the bomb. He might as well try and get towards upper, but the timing could work out for him. Electronics in that squeaky door, but maybe he'll allow him out. He almost does, and he'll just go for a quick plant and hope Electronic doesn't rush him down. He doesn't really have the choice to rush him. If Electronic gives up a rifle here, that could mean the round falling apart. This is a massive opportunity for Cadian. It's going to be a difficult round, but I'm not going to say this is impossible. I feel like there is a chance he could win this.
I'm going to say not. He got spotted out. You're right. If he got behind them and they were already looking with their backs turned inside of the site for him, then maybe they get away with it. They're going to delay this defuse just to go around and pick up utility, get those AKs back in their hands. They've got the time to work with. But they get another round 12-8. Start again to close that gap. CT side massively favored. Winning out the gun rounds. It's certainly possible they can pull this game back. T-side's everything. And this, in some ways, it's kind of cool. A lot of people say, like, oh, Nuke, no one likes CT-sided map. Difficult to play. It's not really the favorite of most people and most fans of Counter-Strike, but the truth of it is, we've already seen that there's new ways to play it based on how Astralis does. There's new ideas on the T-side with new skylights, new box positions outside. But on top of that, it does create this cool narrative of a comeback time and time again that makes it a little more exciting and puts pressure on teams.
I do agree. It is an exciting one to watch, especially in grand finals. We'll see the pistols come out again, this time no armor, and that extinguished smoke.
That was a preset Molotov to extinguish the smoke, so if the smoke hits flames, it instantly detonates. It wouldn't bounce in position. That left a massive gap outside. Oh, look at the turnaround from Electronic. Dancing both directions, 180 degrees twice, finds 3 kills on top of the site. Na'Vi get away with it. That's actually a very subtle detail. A lot of the more keen-eyed players and viewers on Twitch right now would be aware of it, but you throw the Molotov on the ground, middle of nowhere, it seems. Yep. The smoke can't bounce to the correct position, so it immediately pops, and it leaves a huge gap that they want to run through. So it's by design, and it's actually quite clever.
Yeah, originally when CSGO first came out, Molotovs, you couldn't actually extinguish them whatsoever. It was actually a little bit broken.
It was pretty horrible, yeah.
You couldn't do it. If a Molotov came down, you had to wait. But now, obviously, you can now risk throwing a smoke down, gray screening yourself, and challenging, but you won't take the damage, and you can actually counter the fact they've blocked off that choke point. But you're right, Electronic, that is pretty remarkable. The fact he gets 4 in that situation, 180s all over the place, and we'll have AKs once again. North.
The other aspect of that, for people not aware, these guys use a sensitivity. Like, you don't measure it. I mean, you do. DPI 400, sensitivity, whatever, 1.3, whatever it is. I know you play lower.
Sure.
It's so low that you measure it in inches for 180. That's like a full swipe with the arm to hit those shots.
It's difficult. Not many players can land those sort of shots. It takes a very specialist type of style, as we'll see Cadian once again going for that main pick. Electronic, oh my goodness, bullets just whizzing past his shoulders there. Lucky to be alive. Cadian, decent effort. They have got a full buy here and still 12-9 in the lead. But remember, they're on the T side of Nuke now. Third map still very much on the cards.
Cadian waiting with that AWP outside, but look at Simple, pushed up aggressively. Sniper rifle close proximity inside of the hut position. It's pretty likely you're going to catch a terrorist player there. It's a pretty integral part of the map that by default is granted to them, and they usually walk through it at least once a round. So far this time, though, it looks to be all outside, so it might be a bit unlucky for his positioning. That said, if they wrap Mini, he still has control from hut and can hold from the doorway. And that exactly could be the call, because Kiarby already clearing out the boxes. Bounced smoke could drop off and wrap immediately onto upper. Gade waiting to go around the corner to join him as well. Deep flash just to make sure no one's peeking when they do. He's actually going to go beyond that KRB. He wants to wrap all the way in behind, flank out, take the full control of the backside of the map, which would leave the CTs with no positioning. And despite that Zeus gets one, they trade that, so they have that option. They can actually go toward heaven at this point.
Wow, Simple's got lobby under control, and now AZ, all too familiar with that prospect. He'll be taken down. I think Valda's made the call now. If Simple's upper, let's get the hell down towards lower. They still have a couple of smokes here. They can smoke decon and the window doors. They should be fine for a plant here. Remember, no vent access anymore. Edward is down there, but smoked off. He can't justify trying to deny, but Electronic can go for the backstab, and I'm assuming the bomb is being planted right now.
That's a fantastic call by Valda. They went outside, they got heaven. You have the option of going anywhere. All you need is a little bit of information. Simple gave that to them.
Dead.
Sure, he got AZ. You're right, Cadian certainly has gun barrel sticking out. It's far too easy for Electronic to line that one up. And a great entrance from Edward. They check it. Such a good spot to play on the catwalk. He knew the exact angle. Already looking there as the door open. All he had to do was click, take the fire, take the shot, and it's on to Valda. Didn't even need the trade. Got him cleanly inside a shadow. And Na'Vi, yet again, they're going to make this 12-10. I think they're absolutely in control of this game now.
I think so. Lost bonus racking up, though, with the bomb being planted. There is another buy. They can continue to apply the pressure there. It was a good call from the north side. The fact they go down towards lower. Smokes available for either side of the bomb site. Bomb planted, but just couldn't hold the post-plant situation. And you saw it all fall apart. Cadian, he is in a good position technically with the ramp, but he needs backup. If he had another rifler up there with him, they could have watched the ramp. He can control the bomb, but luckily for him, look at to the right-hand side. It was actually CT on the left, as we'll have a Mac 10 for Cadian, and there's only one player without a helmet, so if he can find him, that would be great. Is he just going to rush ramp and try and challenge Flamey here? He's normally there and staying true to his name, throws the incendiary grenade on the floor, and it will be the first kill. And he's not falling down here. He's wanting to challenge, and rightly so. He'll take the second and push him right back towards the lobby. Zeus is waiting, takes one, and continues to find them advantages.
Part of me thinks that Flamey was hoping they wouldn't extinguish the Molotov. Didn't actually have time to transition, but still got away with it. Got the second kill. Bomb down inside of the door. That's all too easy for Electronic to guard at this point in time. So Gade in a 1-on-4 really has no chance in this. He pretty much needs Na'Vi to put it on his doorstep in order to take this round away, because all they have to do is play the bomb. They kind of are, aren't they? That's not required. They have the bomb down. If I guess you want to play the backside of Secret, so you can, or sorry, from Squeaky, so you can see that bomb from a different angle, but they don't have enough information. And now Edward, he could give himself up in another 1-on-1. This goes down to a 1-on-2. It's winnable. Thankfully, Edward looks high and is able to spot it. We get to within one.
We certainly do. Remember, on the CT side as well, that's where you can really dig your heels in, as North take a tactical pause. Haven't really seen them find a convincing round in a few now, and they need to dig deep on the strategies. I'm interested to see what notes are on there at this point. Like we said, he hasn't had much time to work with the squad. Definitely can keep track of money and predict what the opposition will be doing, take notes on what weapons are purchased, what's saved, for example, and just try and give them educated guesses as to what kind of formation the opposition could have as well. Good spawn there for AZ. We did say he likes to get down the vents. He's a bit of a master of getting down there. I saw he had a CZ, so I assume they haven't bought here. And he's just going to try and rush down, maybe with the bomb. We'll see if that's a possibility.
Vent dives haven't been as prominent as of late.
It's not so much about diving now anymore. It's just getting in the vents and forcing a rotation. You can't really do as much as you can. AZ will show us how to get down there, but you'll see all he can really do now is wait for rotations and hopefully get a kill. He can't rush a plant, for example. He just has to hold up and see if he can make them uncomfortable.
And you can see why as well the vents are so hard to take now. No smokes to extinguish that Molotov. He actually took 60 damage just getting in position with a pistol. Simple. On Secret, needs to be aware of the fact that AZ is down there, because he actually could backstab. He's found Flamey as well on that CZ. Simple. Behind to extinguish the flames. Man, oh man, what a clinic. So precise every single peek.
It's so good to watch.
Like, time that reaction. It's no secret that esports players typically have better reaction time than most athletes from other sports. It's incredible how fast they can react to shots, flicks, aims. If you slow that down to like 1/10 of a second, it's unbelievably quick.
Yeah, absolute god. Simple. Always delivers it seems, and he's doing great work now, keeping the dream alive. Third map. As you can see, the odds ever changing, as now it's Na'Vi with the convincing numbers at 1.34. Our grand final, potentially another map to be played if Na'Vi keep this up. Orp out for Cadian. 15 kills to his name, and same story for Simple. You won't see a double Orp on the CT side or T side, to be fair, of Nuke. It's a difficult map to really be super impactful. If you get one kill with the AWP in the round, you'd be pretty happy with that if it actually ends up with you taking it, as they maybe set up for an upper execution here. You can see them lining up some smokes and flashbangs, some Molotovs to the roof as well. Edward will fall back to more defensive position. AZ holding for the squeaky door push. And Simple just moving things around. He's got the AWP ramp this time.
Yeah, that's a change. Would have rotated through that position last time to get to the stairwell on the other side of the map, but this time he'll hold up, meaning that Flamey's not there. Meanwhile, Katie and Op on the T side starting to try and get some shots outside. Much slower pace than the previous rounds, trying to get kills and information. Pressure on North, perhaps it's indicative of that. We saw the timeout called. Now if we win this, we force out map 3. All for, I guess, one map of a best of 3, all for the championship. It just comes down to narrow margins, and Na'Vi again just doing everything they can to keep these series as long as possible.
We'll see what happens now. They're heading towards the ramp room, and we just said Simple is waiting on that side. Flash is decent, but is he going to be pushed off? Sensibly, he'll go down towards lower. That is not a position you want to be caught in. Flamey, though, he's more than happy to keep fighting. Even in those flames, he'll be dropped for one, but Simple still fighting strong, and he keeps pushing forward. He thinks they're going towards upper. He'd be correct, and here comes the backstep on the fence. Electronic will get 1-2 versus, though, as Simple has to find the M4. He's got 11 grand to his name. Might as well go for it. 8 seconds on that plant, but that's not a problem. Kiabi with the Molotov. If he throws it towards heaven, they pretty much win the round. Simple can't do anything about it. He actually throws it in the vents. So at least they've got that covered. Here comes the flash, and presumably the peak. Here he comes. Flashes himself. It's got a little bit awkward. How is he still alive? What is going on? If he got the double kill there, Matt, I think I'd have been done. I would have walked off.
That was
too much.
Astonishing that even went that far. Sloppy. Sloppy indeed. I mean, interesting angle to drop down on, but the flash certainly dissuaded any aim toward him. Nonetheless, it's another round for North. They'll maintain the lead by 1. Na'Vi knows the situation. They haven't been picking up too many rounds. They're not going to have any money built up. They can reset them here. In fact, 3 digits of economy, all except for Katie, and he's got 1,600, surprisingly. That's not bad for the op to have, but pretty much a must-win round at this point for North.
You are absolutely correct. And it couldn't be closer at this point. 13-12. Simple, though. You can see, like, there's no real method behind the man. He's just said to his team, you know what, I'm just going to go pick outside super aggressively. You can't argue with him. You're just going to be like, yeah, go for it, man. It's no problem. And he'll put the fear of God in them. As soon as he fires a shot, he's got that sort of presence on the server. You ain't peeking him again. You'll just fall back and just recalculate your setup because you don't want to go anywhere near it.
Edward's also there. He's going to play it a little closer on the M4. No Augs this time. I take it back. Zeus has one, excuse me. Flamey's got the silenced M4.
Oof, how did he get tagged up like that? Was that a big grenade and the spam afterwards?
Looks that way. You can still see the tracer coming over from the top, but Edward. Damage, I think, from his teammate that time, actually, from heaven. Spotted out his feet. He's going to rotate back down through the vents. Smokes were bounced. Kirby's done this a few times. And he's holding that AC position, hoping that someone's going to walk out from the stairs. We know that Simple's played it in a few occasions, but it's ramp first. Back to Flamey because the off, as you said, wanted to go outside and be dynamic. He's played that off angle twice now. The problem with it is that even if he gets one, he's not close enough to the ramp to drop away and rotate. He pretty much is committed to a fight, and a fight that goes Valda's way without even a kill. So North, we said, must win round, have the man advantage, and they've got lower sight. This is unbelievable. Valda's gone back around. He can cut off the rotations. They could easily wrap this up.
So sick. That mid-round call is one of the best I think I've seen this tournament. That is such a great play. They've made such a convincing sail down towards lower. They got every single player there. They had a Molotov left over with the rotations as well. That's round done. It's so well played, and you're right, Flamey in that position, it is good for maybe if one player creeps in, you can get that. If you don't even get a single kill there, you get taken in by multiple position, it looks like you've got no backup plan. There's no fallout from that. You're fully committed to getting the kill, hopefully more than one. And in terms of cash, let's have a look at that. Electronic, $100, Simple 3,100. They'll get 1,400 each for saving these two weapons. If that happens, Simple might not do it there. If they go down with nothing here, this could be a massive problem and lead North to actually get the 15th round. This is huge. AZ's going to drop in once the bomb goes off. He knows it funnels him down. There's the first kill. Can he get the second? He does know. Simple's around the corner. AWP, such an influential factor. He jumps in the vents and will take it to the next round. Money won't be great, but he can drop a weapon. They'll be able to scrape together a buy.
And when it looked like North had lost all momentum and I won't say all clue, but all plan, all sense of sort of tactics on this T side, they pull out 2 brilliant calls. That one incredible. Completely sold Na'Vi and have just 2 rounds to find. That's all they have to look at this. 2 rounds. Squeak it out. Play smart. Play discipline. Make sure that you force Na'Vi to make mistakes. And again, they're not going to have money, so they are going to have to be a little bit more aggressive. The buy's not going to be amazing. So close yet so far in terms of that comeback from Na'Vi's perspective. So a 2-round lead with 2 to go, 14-12.
Well, well, well. Who would have thought? The grand final. North, after not qualifying for the major, up against what's considered world-class opposition, top 3. And a map up took Dust 2 from Na'Vi. A team that's really been scraping the barrel as of late. North have been letting themselves down. There's been a lot of speculation as to what the future holds, but if they can win this tournament and get some success, that would be great. This looks to be a fast approach, and the shotgun of Electronic might not be enough. He digs himself in. Can he find opening kills? He can, but taken down straight away. This is for grand final point. We'll see what happens here. Gade will get the penultimate kill, and simple map left in a 3 versus 1. Surely it's not possible.
With an op, he snuck through the smoke, though. They're not going to expect it to be close, but sometimes the magic doesn't strike. He couldn't hit the fast shot on a guy like Volda, who puts him down, and that means it's 1 to go. It's championship point for North to 2-0 Na'Vi in the grand final. What an upset this is going to be.
Huge upset. Just for the reasons we've been here before. This year alone, just from what we've seen in terms of the minors, and Na'Vi expected to be in the conversation for maybe top 4 of the major at least. This would ruin their confidence in map. Let's just talk about this buy. We've got 3 shotguns, all of the shotguns, the auto shotgun, the Nova, and the Max 7. They're just displaying the whole range of the family there.
I mean, desperate. They have to do something. This is incredible. Like you say, North failed to qualify for the major, an event that Na'Vi finished 2nd at last time around, last cycle, and Volda starts it off. Down goes Edward, 4 kills before they upset, and AZ's got another of them. Volda's going to add in 1 more. Encouraging for North. This is a massive increase in performance from them, way above what they've been punching as of late, and that is great signs for them moving forward. Bomb planted already, and it's down to Electronic with 19 HP. Na'Vi, massive favorites coming into this, are going to get dropped by North. They barely squeaked through in most of the best of 3s, including overtime this morning to get to the final, and North have done it. They gave up a spot at Sydney to play in this match to make sure that they secured the victory, and they have. Brilliantly done.
Congratulations to North. It's been a turbulent year. This whole project has had its ups and downs. One big trophy to speak of, that was DreamHack Masters quite some time ago. Cadian joins the roster. We're expecting great things, and it hasn't delivered so far, but this is a step in the right direction. It's not the biggest tournament, 4 teams here, but they've cruised through the upper bracket. They've gone to the grand final and got the 2-0 as well. The big players who wanted to shine, we saw them throughout the tournament, and finally, this is looking good for North, and hopefully foundations to build upon going forward in 2019.
Absolutely so. Cadian gets away with the Volta steps up massively in the finals. Everyone was firing. Even Kiarby looked absolutely sharp. His old self outside in that position. Yep. Really solid on that AUG. And you said it, the teamwork, we talked about it, the Danish teams, they're so good at rotating, they're so good at playing off of each other in that situation. Definitely a step ahead. Na'Vi gave them a run, but that's always going to be expected on the CT side. You get momentum, it doesn't matter what lead the other team has. You can pull it back, but North showed why they picked it. Great calls, forced the rotations. That's one of the hardest parts in CS. It's not even about kills necessarily on the T side. You've just got to force people to move, get them out of position.
Well, there it is. You can see them inside the octagon now. A sigh of relief. And that's the coach coming in. His first day on the job this tournament. First tournament, he gets the first trophy as well. 100% record with the new coach. Not bad.
That's not bad at all. Yeah, it's similar, I guess you could say, to Liquid's new roster winning 100% of their events so far. There's lots to look forward to. Again, this is an upward trajectory for this team. So much support behind them in Denmark. The government in Denmark is all over esports, massive investments lately. FC Copenhagen, actually, the grandparent and father to this team. They're the owners. They invested massively to make sure that they could get everything they needed to step up, and let's hope this continues because Denmark has so much talent and so much skill.
We've been waiting for this lineup to do great things. It's got some massive names in there, household names of CSGO, all of them. Even Gade's getting to a level now where everyone knows what he's capable of. It just needs to come together, and finally, with the rebuild and some humbling results, it seems like they're ready now for 2019, and hopefully we can see more of that. They're great guys, all very model professionals, and they're actually coming over here now, Matthew. So it looks like we have a lovely winners interview. Maybe every single player on the team, it looks like.
Why not? They've won this together. It is a team sport, and very much so on Nuke, the map in which they crowned it. Stunna is going to be standing by with them. I think he's going to speak with Katie in first and foremost. So from us, Henry, it's been pretty fun. It's been a good shape up for us to go to the major too.
Yes.
I think I fly to Poland at like 3 a.m. or something. So
Sure.
it'll be a good time.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll throw it down to Trace, who's got the winners on the show floor.
Thank you very much, Henry and Matt. That's right, you guys have done it yet again, and North have done it here in London. The GG.Bet Ice Challenge has concluded, and North are the champions. It's been a long year for you guys already, and I guess culminating here to a win is definitely what you were looking for. How does this feel? I mean, this has been a long journey, and what is certainly one that you guys are looking to come up with.
For sure. I mean, you said it yourself. The year has just started, and yet it's been very long for us. I think this could be like a bit of a resurgence, a bit of gaining some momentum for our practice in the upcoming weeks. Yeah, it was an important win for us, even though it was maybe not the biggest of tournaments.
Well, I mean, this is certainly something that I guess changes the tone of the camp. I mean, you guys obviously have received a lot of criticism online. You've been kind of put through the ringer when it comes to social media, and I'm sure that drains on you. Gade, what do you have to say, I guess, in regards to going forward?
Yeah, I think as Kasper said, it's about us getting confidence and just getting wins on wins. I think we'll see a much stronger North in the next couple of months.
Well, the coming months are to tell, and we aren't joined by your new coach, but interestingly enough, as they were saying, he's undefeated on land, in theory, technically. What do you guys have to say about this new addition? I know it was kind of a dramatic thing for you guys to bring in a new coach and Abe to step out.
Well, I feel like we kind of needed a change in the team. And yeah, Torbjørn brings a lot of good things. He's very hyped, and he kind of keeps the anti-shredding and so on a bit of a minimum. But yeah, he's been super good at bringing some new energy to the team, and yeah, we're super happy to have him with him. Also a bit unfortunate that we couldn't get a trophy with Alex or some of the others has, but me and Niklas hasn't. So yeah, just best of wishes to Alex and his family as well, who's hopefully watching at home. And yeah, we're glad to try and make this work with Torbjørn.
Well, you guys have made it work thus far, and what else you did work for was this big $30,000 check. We're going to go ahead and give you guys that round of applause. If you're in Twitch chat right now, all the POG champs that you could possibly put up there. You're champions of the GG.Bet Ice Challenge. It's North. And in this moment, I want to take a second to thank everyone responsible for making this happen. Very much a reality here in London. It has been a hell of an event. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching and coming out here to the Ice Challenge in London, brought to you by GG.Bet.